Joachim made a movie about a director who abandons his daughters to make films, then writes a movie for one of them as an apology. She refuses to read the script, so he casts an American actress who dyes her hair to look like his daughter. This is sentimental value, and it's the most Bergman film Trier has ever made. It's also a quiet masterpiece about how artists turn their families into material and whether that's creation or theft. Alright, welcome back. Today we're talking about sentimental value. Joachim follow-up to The Worst Person in the World. Stellan Skarsgård and Renate Reinsve play an estranged father and daughter, a filmmaker past his prime, and an actress in the middle of a breakdown. When the mother dies, they're forced back into each other's lives, and Trier uses their fractured relationship to ask, what do we owe the people we turn into, art? I just watched this and it's still sitting with me. Let's get into it. The film opens with two scenes that define everything. First, a child's essay reimagining their house as a character, wondering if it feels pain when a window is slammed, then an actress having a breakdown before opening night, trying to flee the theatre before bursting into the Seagull, a family home, and the Herculean effort of performance. Those two ideas, history and expression, memory and art, weave through the entire film. This isn't just a family drama. It's about how we use our trauma to create and whether that creation heals or deepens the wound. Nora, played by Renate Reinsve, is an actress whose mother just died. Her estranged father Gustav, played by Stellan Skarsgård, shows up at the memorial. The tension is immediate. They can barely stand to be in the same room. The wounds aren't fully explained, but you feel them in body language, cadence, tone. Nora has a sister, Agnes, who's more forgiving. Nora is sleeping with her married co-star and spiralling, and when Gustav tells her he's written a film for her to lead an olive branch, she won't even read the script. That refusal sets everything in motion. Gustav goes to the Deauville Film Festival, where one of his early films is screening. An American actress named Rachel Kemp, played by Elle Fanning, is moved by it and invites him to dinner. They strike up a friendship, and of course, Rachel takes the part written for Nora. Trier starts playing with Bergman-esque themes of identity. There's even a direct visual allusion to persona. Rachel dyes her hair to look like Gustav's daughter. She's playing Nora in Gustav's film about his family. It's deeply uncomfortable and fascinating. Meanwhile, Agnes, who's an academic historian, starts researching their grandmother's suicide and the torture during World War II that Gustav's film appears to be about. So you have Nora fleeing every interaction, Rachel embodying her for a performance, and Agnes uncovering the historical truth beneath the fiction. Three women circling the same trauma from different angles: performance, scholarship, avoidance, and Gustav in the centre, turning it all into material. What makes sentimental value work is how genuinely it defines family dynamics. Skarsgård, Reinsve and Inga Ibsdottir Liljas disappear into these roles. They're not just playing estrangement, they're playing the full complexity of strained relationships. There's a hysterical moment where Gustav buys inappropriate DVDs for his grandson, and the knowing laugh Reinsve gives him is perfect. They follow it with a cigarette, laughing and smiling. Strained relationships aren't only defined by strain, it's often when we stop talking that old bonds reform just a little. Hollywood thinks fraught family dynamics are one thing: loud arguments, tearful confrontations, melodrama. Trier understands they're everything. The film builds subtle emotional momentum. You know breakthroughs are coming, but they arrive gradually, patiently, believably. They're in what's unsaid as much as what is. The final powerful beat has no dialogue. It doesn't need any. That restraint is what makes it devastating. Renate Reinsve is even better here than in The Worst Person in the World, which is saying something. She plays Nora with this coiled intensity, someone who's built her entire identity around rejecting her father but can't escape him. Every choice she makes, her affair with the married co-star, her panic attacks before performances, her refusal to engage with Gustav's script, is informed by him. She's defined by what she's running from, and Reinsve makes you feel the exhaustion of that. Stellan Skarsgård has never been better. He plays Gustav as someone who dominates every room but deflates in private. A man sagging under the weight of terrible history and time itself, understanding he's facing his limits and can no longer bluff his way through life. There's a scene where he watches Rachel rehearse his script, and you see him realise she can't get there. She's doing the best job she can, but she hasn't lived it. When the monologue is later spoken in its original language, it's truer. Rachel can't replicate that truth because it's not hers. Elle Fanning is excellent as the well-meaning American actress trying to inhabit someone else's trauma. She dyes her hair, studies Nora's mannerisms, gives everything to the performance, but there's a gulf, and Trier makes you feel that gulf without judging Rachel for it. She's not a villain. She's an artist trying to access something that isn't hers to access. That's the film's central tension. Can you ethically turn someone else's pain into your art? Gustav is doing it to his family. Rachel is doing it to Nora by proxy. Where's the line? The house is a character. It's a multi-story wood structure with steep gables, an example of Norwegian dragestil architecture. Viking Victorian, basically, embellished, filled with restless ghosts. It's a refuge, a nest, a stage, a vault. Generations have cycled through it. Some race playfully up the stairs, others angrily slammed doors, and now Gustav is shooting his film there, swapping one family for another. The house becomes a metaphor for Trier's filmmaking, layers of history, competing perspectives, ghosts that never leave. Trier and co-writer Eskil Vogt structure the film in chapters, hard cuts to black every few minutes. It gives the film the rhythm of great fiction unfolding. The opening includes a bravura flashback narrated by an unidentified woman, charting the family's history in the house across decades. Little time capsules. You're watching a family's entire emotional architecture get built before the present tense story even begins. That foundation makes every interaction in the present land heavier. Cinematographer Casper Tuxen and editor Olivier Bouguet-Coutet give this talkie to our film momentum without drawing attention to themselves. The visual language is confident but unobtrusive. Trier shifts among tones and moods with astonishing facility. He's a virtuosic quick change artist. The film can be very funny. There's pure slapstick, but it's steeped in melancholy. Death haunts it, and Trier uses absurdity to attenuate crushing sadness in ways few directors with an eye on box office dare to risk. The film is essentially about two things art can do: heal or exploit. Gustav abandoned his daughters to pursue filmmaking. Nora believes that. It feeds her self-righteous resentment, but he's also offering her a role in his film, a chance to process their shared trauma through art. She rejects it because she doesn't trust him. And maybe she's right. Maybe turning your family into material is always exploitation, even when it's offered as reconciliation. The film doesn't answer that. It just shows you both sides. Agnes, the historian, represents another approach. Uncover the truth, document it, understand it objectively, but even she's connected to the past emotionally. Their grandmother's suicide, the World War II torture, it's all family history. You can't study your own trauma with pure objectivity. Nora represents avoidance, refuse to engage, build your life around rejection. Rachel represents appropriation, take someone else's story and inhabit it performatively. Gustav represents creation, turn pain into art, whether or not you have permission. Trier is asking, which approach is right? And the answer seems to be none of them, or all of them, depending on the moment. You need distance to create art from trauma, but too much distance makes it inauthentic. You need proximity to feel it, but too much proximity makes you unable to shape it. The film exists in that tension, never resolving it because it's unresolvable. This is Trier's most Bergman film. The persona illusions, the focus on performance and identity, the house as psychological space, the estranged parent-child dynamic, the actress breaking down before a show, but it's also distinctly Trier. The lightness mixed with heaviness, the restless engagement with cinema's plasticity, the way he translates the ineffable into concrete sights and sounds. There's a searching quality to his filmmaking that his characters share. The difference is they don't always know what they're searching for. Trier does. Should you watch it? If you love The Worst Person in the World, absolutely. This is Trier operating at the same level, but in a darker register. If you're into family dramas that earn their motion through restraint rather than melodrama, this is essential if you care about films that ask uncomfortable questions about art and ethics without providing easy answers. Don't miss it, but if you need catharsis or resolution, this might frustrate you. It's a film that sits with you, not one that releases you. Sentimental Value is about the impossibility of separating art from life when your life is your art. It's about strained relationships that can't be fixed with one conversation. It's about houses that hold ghosts, performances that reveal truth, and fathers who abandon their daughters and now want forgiveness through creation. And it's about daughters who have every right to refuse. Trier doesn't tell you who's right. He just shows you the cost of every choice. That ambiguity is what makes it a masterpiece. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.